What's up and what's going on, everybody? My name is Meesa.
And my name is Meah.
Also known as M&M, and we are listening to your number one source of inspiration for this generation. You already know it's M&M Live Radio. Meah, this is the moment we all have been waiting for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, our guest today is a powerhouse in every sense of the word. She's a trailblazer in Christian hip-hop, a dynamic voice in media, y'all. Listen, a woman of faith. The woman of faith that she is, man, speaks volumes. The waves she's making in ministry, man. Please welcome our incredibly talented and the inspiring Queen Lee to M&M Live Radio.
Yes.
What's poppin',
She's
y'all?
in the building.
This resume, I need it printed out. For myself.
Absolutely. I got it for you.
My resume don't even sound like that.
How you doing, girl? What's been going on with you? It's Q1. We're reaching the end of the first quarter of 2025. You are a woman of many hats.
Yeah.
Well, how's life looking like in your life right now?
Yeah. So a lot has happened in quarter one. Actually, me and my husband just moved into our first home together.
Congratulations.
And so thank you. That was we've only been here for probably maybe not even a full month yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, it's super fresh.
Yeah.
And so that was at the top of the list of things that we needed to complete early on in the year. So we just did that, and now we are just preparing for this wedding. It's crazy, and it's coming so fast.
So what have you loved most about the process of planning a wedding, and then what's been the most challenging?
First of all, I'm glad you started with what have I loved the most, because the first thing that I go to when people ask me about wedding planning is, it's stressful. So you kind of opening my eyes right now to talk about something that's I don't never talk about with wedding planning, which is what's good about it. I never talk about what's good about it because I always feel like something is wrong or it's stressful. But I guess the best thing that I've I'm gonna say our venue, having the package that we chose with our venue came with a wedding planner, and it helped so much. Stuff that I be on TikTok. Of course, you on the 2025 bride side of TikTok, and the girls be talking about I haven't did this yet, and I'm like, wow, they really doing all this for me. I really don't have to stress about that. So that's been a highlight of it. Just having a wedding planner takes a lot of stress off of you. Loving the venue that we chose, and then the most stressful thing I can say challenging has been keeping these bridesmaids together.
Shout out to the bride tribe.
Hey, love y'all, but y'all got a headache sometimes. Okay, so. Just being in the bridesmaids group chat and just being have y'all decided on this? And I think the one thing that you shouldn't do when you're getting married, please listen to me when I say this, okay? The one thing that you shouldn't do is give them choices.
Oh, yeah.
Just say, this is what it's going to be.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah,
no, because I have 12 girls.
You got 12
bridesmaids. 12 girls, and they so opinionated. So opinionated, which as if anybody would be. Right. Of course, I'm opinionated. But so opinionated, oh no, that's ugly. I don't like this. This don't fit my body. I'm oh my gosh, I should have just said what it was gonna be. But me trying to, just trying to be that, I don't want to be a bridezilla. So I'm okay, if I just let them choose, they gonna think I'm nice. Let me do that. But no, it's that's what's been stressful, having them choose stuff.
Man, listen.
The funny thing is being a former bride myself, I feel honestly, even in this conversation, we could start our own podcast about being brides and what it looks like, the highs, the lows, because so much comes with it. So much comes with it. But the thing is this, and one thing I hopefully can pour into you to share right now is the fact that it's a lot of workforce that goes into it, and opinions and emotions, because this is your biggest day, and they're only being opinionated because they care about you and they have your best interest at your heart, and the moment where it does all happen and you and your husband, you hop in the limo and y'all go off into your honeymoon, it's gonna be man, I'm gonna miss these little moments.
That's what I'm waiting for, that honeymoon. These past couple of months, it's just feel like stuff has just been crammed in, and so just to be able to get away with him on somebody's beach, my God, I cannot wait for that.
It's gonna be awesome. Okay, now listen, we're gonna get into more wedding details because I want to dive a little bit more deeper into that. So one thing that I can say, Queen Lee, is the fact that Meah and I are so grateful to have you, first of all, in the studio, because we've been talking about doing this for so long, number one, and we've known each other for a super long time.
Crazy.
We've known you before you even started doing music, and we have some of the similar, people that we just share in our lives, like Pastor Michael Owen.
Shout out to Minister
Mike. We know him as Minister Mike. He's now Pastor Mike of the altar. And I remember going to what was then Evolve ATL and just running into you and talking to you. And Minister Mike always said every single time you were on stage, you spoke, you just did anything holding a mic, you got to hear this girl's testimony. This girl's testimony is so powerful.
Wow.
Wait till you hear her story. And so, of course, us having this moment right now, I'm like, oh, I got a front row seat.
Yeah.
We've got to figure out. So if you could just detail just whatever you want to share, just go down the line as to what your story consists of.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, this kind of a lot to unpack. I'm going to try to do this in like a little 3-minute thing.
Yeah.
So basically, I didn't grow up in church at all. I grew up on the east side of Atlanta, so went to Towers High School. I did not know God for myself at all. We went to church once a year as a family, and that was New Year's.
Wow.
So technically, it was twice a year, because when it hit midnight, then we was in there again. So technically, twice a year. It really do count. But how the normal black churches go on Easter, like, no. Like, none of that. So I 100% did not know nothing about God, but I always I don't know how to explain it. Like, even the first tattoos that I ever got were godly. Like, I first got a cross, then the next thing I got this, that famous quote that you hear people saying, like, God give his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers or whatever. Don't even know nothing about God, and I'm getting this stuff, but this is just like how I feel growing up. Super selfish, super promiscuous, I was just so loud and ratchet, y'all. I don't even know how to explain, like, the type of person that I was. And I still got a lot of those now.
Yeah.
I'm still, okay? Still her. But, God just showed me how to do it in, like, a more modest way. And so, did that. Then by the time I was 18, I had my first abortion. Ended up getting pregnant, had my first abortion. I met God at 19, the end part of my 19 going into my 20s. And so at 19, I had another abortion. So it's like 1 year, 2 abortions, basically. Yeah. And so that's when I felt like, I was on a downward spiral. Like, okay, I don't know what my life is doing right now. And so I met these, y'all know, people from World Changers, but I met somebody from there, and I was working at Amazon. They was working at Amazon with me, and me at the time, I was in love with 2 things, and that was men and money. Like, it's just, as long as it can get me some money and I can get a man, I'm cool with that. And so literally, like, he came up to me at work or whatever, and I'm trying to hop down, but he trying to talk to me about God, and I'm just like, and he just like, God keep telling me that you don't supposed to be working here, like, you're supposed to be somewhere speaking, and I was just like, okay, like, I don't need, like, at the time, I don't know what prophecy is. Like, I've never heard none of this in my life before. So he like, you should come to the Bible study tonight. I'm like, okay. It was Danielle's Bible study.
Okay.
And so that's where I actually got saved at Danielle's Bible study, and that's how I met Minister Mike. And so literally, I'm debating on if I want to go to this Bible study. It's so far away. I got $10 in my bank account. I would have to put all my gas in, because it was in Douglasville.
Wow.
Oh, I got to put
all the way to Douglasville.
I got to put all my last $10 in my tank for me to go. I called my best friend Ayana. I'm like, girl, you gonna have to come to this Bible study with me, because I ain't trying to go, like, by myself or whatever. And she grew up in church. Her granddad got a church stuff. She was like, okay, I'll go with you. So she come to church. So we get in the car. I come pick her up, and we go to Quick Trip. And I go to Quick Trip, and I'm already risking putting my last $10 in the tank. So I get out of the car. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put these last 10 in here. I get paid on Friday. Just gotta make it do what it do. I get out of the car. First time ever I found money on the ground. $20 on the ground.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, God must really want me here. Like, I don't know what's going on. You never find money.
Never.
No.
Like, it may even look like money, turn around, it ain't even real. Like,
especially in Atlanta.
It's a business card.
Okay, people like, they play around with flyers.
Yes.
Why does a flyer got a $20?
Girl, talk about it. I saw a church invitation that looked like a Louis Vuitton wallet. I promise you on everything.
That's ghetto. I ain't gonna lie.
That's Atlanta for you. That's Atlanta.
No, that's true. But yeah, so I go to the Bible study, put $20 in my tank, go to the Bible study, literally get saved that night, and I immediately got into ministry because Minister Mike was launching Evolve the next week. So I go there the next week off of this Bible study, and met Minister Mike, and literally he prophesied to me my first day at church. It was like, you gonna do what I'm doing, and I was like, ooh, wrong chick. Wrong chick. You ain't talking to me.
Yes, because I mean that can be so overwhelming. You know what I'm saying?
Like pastoring, like preaching, like talking, like. Nah.
And you're not even church like that. So how did you receive, like, did you go home and you're like super confused? Are you kind of like, okay, I'm not going back anymore? What was going through your mind when
Girl, I kept going back. Like, I don't know what it was. It was just like some of my spirit. At the time, I know it's my spirit. Well, right now, I know it's my spirit. But at the time, I'm like, I don't know why. I just feel like I need to keep going back. And so I was trying to, like, let go because I was big Atlanta music. Like, Thug, Future, everybody, big Atlanta music. So I'm like, and it's a time. This 2016. This is a time when
That's
Thug
prime
Future
time.
on the crazy
Prime
ride.
time.
All right, then I
Summer
gotta go back.
16 was a movie.
No, it was crazy. Then you got to go back to Rich Kids.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, it's nothing that can get me out of this.
Nothing.
Minister Mike had Glow perform, and I was like, this gospel, like that. He like Glow literally helped me to stop listening to secular music.
Shout out Glow.
Yeah.
Shout out
And
Glow,
I was
man.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So I'm rapping gospel music like I'm in the hood, and I'm like, that's when I started going on Instagram doing like Kingdom Conversations. At the time, I didn't know they was Kingdom Conversations.
Okay.
But I was on there praying and cussing. Like, y'all don't get it. Y'all need to wake up and do this. Man, God, wake up with God, man, do this. I'm like, bruh. But I didn't know. You don't know at the time.
Yeah, you know, but you're right.
My heart was right.
Good intentions.
My heart
It
was
was
right.
good
I'm like, y'all
intention.
just try, man. Like, and it was so good. So it kind of just like, it stuck with me. Like those words that Minister Mike said, it stuck with me, and it kind of just like made me go into like a whole different direction. And then he asked me to be his assistant, so I ended up being his assistant at Evolve for like 3 years, and then being production manager for another 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
What did it look like being submitted under leadership like that, like under Minister Michael Learn? Like, what was your biggest takeaway from being up under him?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway would be like he really like molded me into a leader for real. And y'all know that about Mr. Mike.
Right.
He's all leadership. He's going to
leadership.
teach you leadership. He's going to teach you, hey, this is not what you do. And I think the biggest thing that I learned with not being church, like you said, and then getting into a big position at a church that is like being planted basically. At a time like that, the biggest thing I had to learn, because I'm coming straight from the hood and I don't know this lifestyle. Mr. Mike kept having to sit me down and be like, hey, it's power with people, not power over people. Ooh. And he just kept drilling that into me. And so now when I speak to people and I may be in charge of them, I may have something that they need from me, but I'm not treating you like a peasant. I'm not treating you like you need me. So, and what gave me the big head was Mr. Mike used to tell the team, like, when she's speaking, that's me speaking. So I don't know nothing about church, and I'm barely in my word. And the pastor said,
Yeah.
I'm him.
Yeah.
So you need to listen to me.
Right.
And so one of the biggest things he literally taught me was just like leadership and how to lead like with people and not like over them.
Oh man, I love
That's
that
so
segue. I love that segue because we know exactly what thumbprint of leadership and authority and power that comes from Minister Mike and his leadership being passed down to us. And that just kind of takes me into this huge leader of who you are, Queen Lee. For women experiencing singleness. You know, you've been such a leader of a person that's like, okay, look, I'm going through it. You don't have to go through it by yourself. I'm going to create some type of system, some type of book, some type of pathway to lead women who believe in Christ, who's trying to get through their single season. Talk to me about this journal. Talk to me about As I Wait. Like, what was it? Was there a single or a specific moment in your single season that was like, you know what? I need to create something that's going to help other women.
Yeah, I think it was so back in 2020, the Lord told me to start writing to my husband. And so me not knowing, I would meet him 4 years later or whatever. I didn't know any of this, but the Lord just told me to start writing, so I started writing. And I started to, as soon as I started writing to him, I started to experience so many things in singleness that all the single women to this day experience. So you start the losing hope phase and getting weary and well-doing phase and the celibacy stage. And like you going down the line of everything, and you trying to be content. Like, you're trying so hard to be content, but it's so hard watching everybody and all your friends around you get married and get engaged and have boyfriends and whatever. And you trying your hardest to be content, and then you try to believe like, okay, the Lord is hiding me. He's hiding me, like he just waiting for my one person. It's not that I'm not desirable. It's not that people don't want me. Like, the Lord is hiding me. So you start like just trying to like help yourself, believe that like the Lord really has somebody for me. And so I got to a point where I was finally content. And this after 4.5 years of being single. I got to a point where I was finally content, like, okay, I'm not going to worship nights expecting for me to get approached by my husband.
Wow.
I'm not, every time I walk into a room, wondering, is my husband in this room?
Yeah.
I'm not wanting to miss an event because is my husband going to be in that room?
Yeah.
I finally had got to that place. And so this is like 2023, I finally get to this place. And like I said, he had me start writing in 2020. And so 2023, I get to this place, and the Lord was like, give me a year. Like, just a year of no man. Like, I'm talking about not even talking. Not, because the Lord had to teach me, like, you are making, like, unhealthy distractions with men.
Yeah.
Even when you just want to be cute and flirty and sit on the phone with a man, distraction. Even when you just want to, like, I just want somebody to pay for my dinner, distraction. Even when you just want to, I just want to go on a date, distraction. And the Lord was like, I want a year of none of that. Wow. Like, no man, no distractions. And I was like, okay, Lord. So I give him that year, and I just started going through it in my, like, mentally. Like, our pastor was just talking about this, like, the hardest battles you face is, like, being your mind. So I started going through it mentally. And I was like, Lord, but I'm so content. Why am I feeling these feelings again? Like, why am I feeling so lonely again? Why am I feeling like my hope is being deferred again? Why am I feeling this? And the Lord was like, because I need you to put it in the book. Like, I need you to, what you're feeling, I'm allowing you to feel again, number one, so that you don't get prideful and think, oh, I'm so good in this. I don't need you to not sin anymore. No, let me humble you. Let me tell you that you do need me. And also, I want you to put it in the book. So he started giving me the chapters. And so one is called, like, Losing Hope. One is called Accepting Singleness. Because I do think that we be single, but we don't fully accept, like, God is calling us to a season of singleness.
Wow.
And so just all these different chapters that the Lord started giving me or whatever. And then once you get done reading those, because those are at the front of the book, then you get to start writing to your husband. And then this is a book that you will give to him on your wedding night, so he can see the things that you prayed for. The things, like, even when I got a lot of prophecies about my husband. I put them in the book. So when my husband, he reads that book now, because he has my As I Wait journal. When he reads that book now, he's like, they were, like, describing me. Jeez. Like, literally everything that was prophesied to me. It's in the book.
That is amazing.
Okay, now you got this book in front of you. Can you read just one little chapter or some little expert for people who are listening right now? Just anything that you just want to lay on your heart. Just anything random.
I would choose Losing Hope. I think I did one on that one.
I feel like this is story time.
I know.
Okay, let's talk about the spiritual gains.
Okay, come on.
That you get from waiting, because I feel like it's so many gains that, you know, people see from married women that they get right now because they're married, but it is a lot of gains that you get from waiting. So during this time spiritually, we should be gaining a better prayer life. Use this time to get into a daily, not just situational, prayer life with God. This will help you grow spiritually as you wait. It's important to have a consistent prayer life because prayer is putting God's super on your natural. Sometimes the area that we have pain in is not the problem. The problem is our inconsistent prayer life. Prayer is a cheat code to the believer. This is where God shows you things and reveals himself to you. This is also important because what you do in your secret place shows up publicly. In due time, through obedience, a consistent prayer life, and a changed heart posture, God will bring whatever he sees fit to pass.
Wow.
So with that being said, what did your prayer life look like
at the time?
At the time.
Yeah, so that's when my prayer life had got like, I even share some on Instagram because, and the reason why I recorded times like that, because I know nowadays people like, why do y'all set up a phone and show y'all praying and whatever? And yeah, sometimes I do believe that sometimes it be overboard, but it was times where the Lord would tell me to. And I'm not the type of person that I think it's so lame to get on the camera crying. Like,
girl,
that's crazy.
Y'all,
let's talk
I think
about
it's
that.
so crazy to get on the camera crying.
2025 is crazy.
No, it's okay. I think it's so lame to get on the camera crying. But the Lord told me to record myself, and I'm just like, bruh, I don't like looking lame. Like, I don't like that. But the Lord told me to, so I literally put my phone up as I'm in prayer and worship with him because I really wanted to show the single women, like, so for me, right, when I was single and I was waiting, I did not like getting waiting advice from married women. Just my personal opinion. I am sorry. I know that's like a controversial thing.
No, I agree.
A lot of people, and I'm going to tell you, so I in this book, I say so many times as I'm going through this with you because I was.
Yeah.
And I wanted girls to understand, even if I'm married by the time you get this book, which most of you will be now, I know what it's like. And I was one of those women who had a waiting season. So a lot of my friends around me who were married, they didn't have a waiting season. And they wasn't celibate before they got there. So you can't really...
Right.
Now, God can use anybody and have anybody like give you wisdom. And God can prophetically speak to somebody about what you need to do. That's not what I'm saying. When you meet community is about relatability.
Yes.
You want to be able to relate to people and
good.
what they've been through. And so I just personally felt like the women that was around me, personally, they didn't have that testimony. And so I kept writing that in here because even now that I'm married, I promise you, I can relate. I remember one of my friends, she called me recently, and she was like, this is what happened, but you probably don't understand. I said, no, you feel desperate, right? She was like, you understand? I said, yeah, you feel desperate. A lot of people keep on asking you, like, why you want this so bad and stuff like that, when it's a natural desire that God is giving you. So you're not desperate. They can make you feel that way, but you are just responding to a good thing that the Lord wants from you, wants like to have for you, because the Bible says no good thing will God withhold from us, and all the good desires that we have come from God.
Yeah.
And so it's not a bad desire that you have, and you're not desperate. You're just in a season of waiting. There's nothing wrong with that.
When I tell you, I'm so proud of you, number one, because you made this book. I was talking to Meah about this before we were preparing for this interview. And I was saying to myself, I met my husband in high school. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I never really experienced the dating pool, the dating scene. So I don't know what that's like. But for being in this time, this season, I heard it's hard out here in these streets for single men, single women, you know, especially that are, you know, Christ-centered.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have something like this, like you are really trying to equip women with the proper tools to continue throughout this lifestyle with Christ, but still be okay in your singleness.
Yes.
Next, you mentioned something that I wanted to talk to, because I really feel like a lot of our people out there just kind of need to hear this. Married couples, married people who used to be married, like all over the spectrum of marriage and relationships. There are just people that speak into the lives of single folks and give them advice that's unsolicited.
Yeah.
What are some phrases, or what are pieces of advice that you have heard people give single folks that they need to stop giving and
You're
sharing?
next.
You're next.
I hate the
Yeah,
you're
have you
next.
heard that? You're single. Have you heard that?
I hate your next.
You're next.
I know I'm next. I'm all that's I'm all that's left. I know.
No, like, and then you'll be at, like, I've been at a wedding and somebody told me, I'll be watching a couple dance and they'll come up to me, you're next.
Oh,
Don't talk to me. Like, get away from me.
Nothing to me.
That was the worst. I think you're next is the worst thing, because what happens when I'm not next?
What? Yeah.
You feel so horrible. What happens when I'm not next?
Yeah.
Because it was so many times that I wasn't next.
You were next.
Like, mine actually wasn't a you're next. Mine was like a finally. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, okay, eventually. Like, actually, I'm finally here. Like, it didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the worst thing you can say is you're next. And I think another thing that I hate is like prophesying husbands and wives. Please stop doing that. It's like okay, when the times that I got prophesied to about my husband, I got prophesied to characteristics. He'll be a man of valor. He'll be a man of stature.
Okay.
He'll be a man of wealth.
Good.
He'll be a man that doesn't play about you. He's not jealous. He's
Speaking into the man that he needs to
but
be for you.
don't like when you're dating somebody and somebody wants you to date them real bad and marry them, they'll say, the Lord's telling me to pray over y'all. When you say that to people, they feel like they're
destined
that's
to
what
be
they're
together.
supposed to do. And if God end up telling them no, they confused. No, but this is the first person my pastor came up to me and prayed with me, and because that happened to me before. I brought men to church, and my pastor prayed over me and the man that I was dating, and I ain't married to them.
Wow.
So I think it's so horrible. Like, I think you're next, and like praying over like couples that if you really don't feel God telling you to do that. I remember the first time I got prophesied to about my husband. At CR school, the basically the man who's over it, he was like, I don't believe in this and I don't do this, but this is what the Lord is telling me. Your family is going to be beautiful. And that's good enough.
Okay.
You don't have to say a man, where he going to be from, what he going to look like. Your family's going to be beautiful. Do you know what that did?
Yeah.
As a woman waiting, it was beautiful.
I was going to ask you, what should people do? But I think the answer is just to pray for her.
Pray.
The individual. Would you say that? Is that the best thing that people can do? Is not pray for, because you said people have prayed for couples.
Yeah.
And it's probably just because y'all are so cute together and I can't wait till y'all start having children. You know how church folks can be. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it is just best that if you are believing for someone to find their person, to find their spouse, to just pray for that individual in their heart.
I would say just pray for them and just be real and be authentic. Like, stop telling them like whenever you get horny, read your Bible. That's not gonna do nothing. So yeah, let's stop that too.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Meah, listen, I'm having so much fun with Queen Lee here on M&M Live Radio. If you stick around, stay tuned. We have so much more for you. We'll be back with Queen Lee on You Already Know.
It's M&M Live Radio. And you're back on You Already Know. It's M&M Live Radio. Meesa and Meah checking in with our special guest. Queen Lee is in the building. We are chopping it up on and off air. Okay, so we talked about the single season. Let's talk about the now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your husband.
My husband. Love him. His name is Des. And I'm going to tell y'all a little bit. This little part is so funny. So when I first met him, we, okay, so let me back up some. We actually met on a dating app.
Really?
Yep. And so this part is funny, right? So, okay, when I told y'all the single season was over, that I felt like the Lord was releasing me to date again. I was like, well, Lord, I don't go nowhere. So how I'm going to meet this man? I go to church and home, and I work at home. Like, at that point, I'm still doing last year. And I wasn't going nowhere. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay at home. And I was like, you know what? I'm down a dating app. Never in my life have been on a dating app, y'all. Never in my life. So I was like, let me try a Christian dating app first. So I did the Upward, right?
Okay.
So I download Upward. And y'all, it's so funny, right? So I kept on getting men that was like 60. I was like...
Years old?
Years old.
Wow.
I was like, what's going on, y'all? I went and checked. You know how like you do. You put your information in. I'm born in 97. I put 67. And... I
1960.
That's why you was getting
I
Earl.
put 60. I'm for real. I was getting Bill and everything. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So, y'all, I emailed the company. I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. How can I change it? They was like, because of catfishing, we don't allow people to change it. It don't matter. Like, you can't change it. So I was like, wow, so this app is out. Like, I just can't use it. Like, because I can't be 1967 and try to filter it to men that is in their 20s. They not about to let me do that.
Yeah.
So I just had to get off there, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try Hinge. I'm going to just see how this works.
Okay.
And so, of course, being a Christian, you like, dating app sound kind of crazy, kind of sketchy. How do you know if a man loves God? And so... I basically, on Hinge, you can filter it to Christian and whatever. So I did that or whatever. And even after filtering it to Christian, it was being coming up, no judgment. But like your profile pictures that you smoking, now if you got a sin that you dealing with, that's cool. But ain't no real Christian putting it on display.
No, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's your profile picture.
Facts.
And so came across his page or whatever, and he like literally he matched with me like at the same time as I'm like literally looking at his page. So we matched. And so that same, like literally the same day, he invited me out. We went bowling with like some of his coworkers or whatever. And as soon as I walked in and I saw him, I was like, just let me ask you these questions before we even get into this date. What's your relationship like with God, and do you care that I'm abstinent? And he was like, you know, I pray every now and then. You know, it ain't where it need to be, but it can be better. And you know, you're abstinent, not me, so I don't care about that. And I was like, strike one. So then we get to the bowling side, right? We get to the bowling side. We on round 3 of bowling. I'm like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. He like, well, that's too dang bad. I said, strike two.
Strike two.
So then we started sitting down. We finally started talking. I said, yeah, so da-da-da. By the time I get married, he said, you know we 25, right? You talk about marriage and kids. So I said, precisely. So I was saying when he said, yeah, I don't plan to get married no time soon, and I don't want no kids. I said, oh, number 3. I said, check, please.
Yeah.
I said, you're not it. But this was very cool. Like, I had a great time with you. Like, you a cool dude. We just won't do this no more. Left. I didn't talk to him for 2 months. Like, I cut him off immediately. And it was stuff he didn't like about me either. He didn't like that I did bring that stuff up super quickly. And so his mindset was like, I need to know a woman for 3 to 5 years before I can even think that you're okay. I need to see you in every season. He kept saying that. I need to see you in every season. I need to see you when you're broke, when you're up, when you're... He just kept saying that. And I'm just like, when you know God for real, you don't got to see nobody in every season. And so after that happened, like 2 months later, he hit me up and he was like, hey, I really need some help. I don't know who else to call. Like, I don't know why you want my heart to call, but... I feel so lost, so low in my relationship with God right now. I came from Detroit 2 years ago. I still don't have a church home. I feel like I don't know my purpose. Not real estate. I'm in he working at Allstate at the time. I'm in Allstate. I'm in insurance. I hate it here. Like I just feel no purpose in Atlanta since I've been here. So And literally, he was like, can you just come over? I just want to talk. Like, I just want whatever. I put in his address. This man stayed 7 minutes from me.
What?
I was like,
wait, what year is this?
This is 2023. No, 4. This was last year.
Really?
Yeah, this was last year. 2023? Oh, 2023, yeah, because we about to be married for a year. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So 2023, right? So we met in 2022 in October. The 2 months went by.
Okay,
We didn't talk. This is January.
Got you.
2023, yeah.
Okay.
So 2023. So yeah, so I go over there or whatever, and the Lord started, and this is before I even knew the difference between like words of knowledge and prophecy. I didn't know the difference between those two at first, and so I'm thinking I'm prophesying to him, but the Lord was really downloading words of knowledge because he was telling me about his past stuff that he had never told me. It didn't have nothing to do with like who he was becoming or nothing like that. It was about his past.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, the Lord showed me like you was supposed to die a lot of times, like you. And he started tearing up.
Really?
He was like, at birth, I was dead for like 2 minutes. And the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. And at 21, I almost went into a diabetic coma. I was about to be dead if I went to sleep. And like his sugar was over 800. And like it was just, he started like telling me the different ways he was supposed to die. And all I know is that the Lord told me that I don't even know you like that besides the date that we had. And so he started like bawling, crying. And I was like, do you want to rededicate your life right now? And so we went through the rededication prayer. And we worshiped.
Wow.
We worshiped and we prayed. And I showed him that demonic spirits was real. He was scared to go to sleep. It was so funny. It was so funny. And I was about to leave. He was like, you know, you can't, like, stop me and my friend now because you didn't see me in my most vulnerable state. I don't cry in front of women. He was like, so you can't, like, leave me. And I was just like, I mean, okay. So I started taking him to church with me. We started going to church together. And I just seen the Lord transform his life.
What
quickly.
a story.
Whoa, yeah.
Lee, when I tell you, like, but it's interesting because even listening to the story about how you met Des, who became your husband, and even hearing your story about how you were unchurched and people prophesying to you and pouring into you, and you did the same thing to him. It was just like, man, the details of your life intermingling with his life. And then now here we are. Okay, so you got married in 2024.
Yes.
After you met in 2023.
Yes.
So that's a whole just year of knowing each other, dating, into a marriage. What has that roller coaster been like?
Yeah. So first of all, it was a challenge to even get him to think that like we don't have to like be together for 3-5 years for you to know that like I'm your wife. And the Lord just kept revealing it to him. But I think timing was so heavy on his mind. Like, I need to know you. Because he was saying, like in Detroit, girls will set you up. They don't know you for that long. And I'm just like, well, you're going to have to use your discernment with me because I'm just not that girl. And so to see everything, like even the kids thing, to see so many things change in his mind from the time we started dating, he gets saved, he started growing in Christ. Like, all that, I saw it change before my eyes. And it was just so beautiful. It was so crazy. And there was moments where I'll just be looking at him smiling like, you is a whole different man. Like, you really is a whole different man. And so he asked me to be his girlfriend May 21st of 2023. And we got married May 21st of 2024.
Oh, man.
We got married on our actual anniversary, 1 year boyfriend and girlfriend anniversary. And so I was like, yeah, I told you I can get you in a year.
I know, hey. She said, look, I'm not that kind of girl.
I don't need all that, okay? But the anointing of the Lord is upon me.
Listen,
okay?
now, really quick, and Meah, I'm gonna pass it back to you in a moment, but I want to ask this question. So I remember maybe about a month or maybe a couple months ago, I was on your timeline on Instagram, and I remember you talking about and just detailing what's gonna happen, what's to be expected at your 2025 wedding, right? You were talking about, I plan on making sure that everybody that's in attendance is in semi-formal nude attire. You talked about how you're not going to have any children, all the way down to the flower girls and the ring bearers. You're going to have your mothers. I think that's very, very special. But one thing that I thought was very interesting was that instead of having a candle ceremony and a sand ceremony, you're going to have a feet washing ceremony. That was so interesting to me. Tell me why that was such an intricate part of the planning process.
Yeah, just how much the Lord honors marriage and us serving one another. Because what I learned in marriage just is, it ain't even been a 4 year yet, but just what I've learned so far is like, dying to yourself is just like a daily thing. Like even little stuff, like we already in the bed and you asked me to get up and go get some water. I don't want to get up, but I'm going to get up because you asked me. And so the Lord just was teaching me about dying to self, and that's literally like what when he washed the disciples' feet, that's what he was talking about, servanthood. And so I just wanted to be like a public, kind of like when you get baptized, like the public, what is it, like just showing a public public declaration of, this is what I'm doing in my life. I'm professing my life to the Lord. Like, this is what I'm doing. And so that's what I want that to be for us. Like, we're professing in front of everybody, our friends and family, that we will serve each other until the Lord, like until we die or until the Lord comes back, whichever one comes first, whatever. And so that's just a promise that we want to have to each other. Like, we want to wake up every day, like, how can I serve you better than I did yesterday?
That's so good. That just speaks to like devotion. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's beautiful. I want to shift gears just a little bit and just talk about all the hats that you wear, Lee. I just feel like it's to see you do one thing well, and then another thing well, and another thing well. But you it seems like you just manage and you balance them also well, from the Fresh Leftovers podcast to music to you being a speaker in ministry to you being an author.
Yeah.
With all of those roles that you play, is there any one of them in particular where it's grown you and stretched you the most?
Yeah, probably wife. Probably wife and I guess probably like being a single season stage coach, like helping other women, because I literally watched them go through what I went through. And so it's like, it's so humbling to know that, like, wow, I really prayed to be here, and I prayed like to be away from the moment that you're currently in. And although it's not a bad thing, it's still like a anticipation type of thing, a waiting type of thing, and it don't always feel so good. And so I think those are the biggest, like, two things that, I don't know, they just weigh on my heart a lot. Like, when somebody starts talking about singleness, I get so passionate.
Yeah.
I get so passionate because, especially when you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Especially when you haven't been through it. Like, especially when you look at girls, who desire marriage and who talk about it a lot as desperate and as needy and all these different things. That irritates me so much. So, yeah, even on the radio show with Fresh Leftovers, they already know when we start talking about relationships and women and singleness, just give me the mic. Okay?
Don't say nothing
to
Okay,
me.
don't put your 2 cents in, because don't say nothing wrong now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably the main two.
You know what? You said something earlier that you were talking about Glow, seeing him do music and that being like opening your eyes. So I'm curious to how you even found your footing when it came to being into Christian hip hop and things like that. Did you even think that you would even be an artist and things like that?
Okay, so the song that I dropped a song yesterday called Go Crazy. And literally I say in there, never really thought that this was something I would do. The Lord, he called me in. He said, I'm pointing in it's you. I told him, ain't no way. Do you know what I used to do? He said, I know you broken, but it's something I could use. So I slid in the booth to help him spread the truth. The only way to move, the first and not the two.
Yeah.
And so that's literally my story for real. I did not want to. So it's crazy that you brought up Glow, because Glow is Glow the first person put me in the studio.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Well, I know that you remember this because I remember. I can't even tell you the year. And it had to be before COVID. But I remember going to Evolve, and the energy with any artist that touched the stage, you've got to come correct.
Yeah,
like fire starter, you got to have the energy. You have to make sure that you just bring it. And I remember, I don't think Glow had just released a project, right? Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not. But Glow was on stage, and I remember going consistently at that point and seeing this little light skin, 5 foot nothing, thing, just like firecracker, always welcoming people coming on in, and like she had such a vibrant personality and energy when you walk through the room. But like when praise and worship would go on stage, or like when Glow would be on stage, everyone's going crazy, but she's going wild, right? She's losing her mind. And I remember like a couple weeks coming back, and Glow being like, "Oh man, I gotta bring my little sis on the stage." And I don't even think you went by Queen Lee at that time. It was probably just Lee.
Glow was gotta be that.
Yeah, something like that, right? And I'm the same girl that was welcoming us and having the crazy energy. She got up on stage and she lit the room on fire. And I remember everybody just going crazy. And that probably was the first song that you and Glow did, because it was just so.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly the
Maybe
moment.
it was. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Glow did drop a project.
Okay.
It was like all of us in like a more intimate room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That was the first time I think that was the first time I performed in front of people that wasn't just Evolve.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first time ever. But it was this challenge going around. It was called a Back in the Days challenge. And so it was this beat that everybody was doing it to, and you were basically talking like back in the days and what you're doing now. And so I remember it was 2019. I was still staying with my mama, and I was literally getting ready to move out and stuff. And the Lord was like, do the challenge. I was like, rap? What? And so at this time, I'm Nikki Down. Okay, that's my girl.
Is that
lyric,
you? Yeah.
bar for bar. I'm studying the lyrics. So anybody try to test me, I know it.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So literally, I'm studying her back then. I love her so much, and I'm also trying to get out of secular music, but I don't know no women in Christian hip hop that can give me what she gives me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so the Lord was like, yeah, write to it. I'm just like, bro, this is crazy. But I literally wrote to it in 10 minutes. And it went crazy on Instagram. And Glow hit me up, and he was like, the Lord said, you're going to be on my next album. And that was the first time I ever been in the studio. He was the first person to put me. I was so nervous going to the studio for the first time. I'm like, why I sound like that? I don't like that. Like, it was just, and so Glow, he just, and I hate to keep bringing him up, but he just was like, he's a very just intricate part to me even doing music in the first place. Like, he just saw the potential in what the Lord had showed him. And he was just like, yeah, you're supposed to be doing this.
When I tell you the crowd went crazy. The crowd went crazy. She's jumping. She got the energy and like hyping it up.
Yeah.
It was just through the roof. So like literally to see you just literally evolve.
I was gonna say
evolve into this crazy artist that has literally put a stamp in Christian hip hop as we know it. Like, I mean, of course, we got to make sure we show love to all the other amazing female MCs.
And
that
I learned them
really
later on.
Yeah.
I love all them, like Anike, TK,
Come on.
Kid Lee, Angie Rose. Oh my God, I love her so much. Portia, Toya, everybody. Like, everybody is killing it. Cece, everybody is killing it right now.
Yeah. They're really doing it. But talk about the importance of friendship and community that you have found in these ladies. Like, a lot of these ladies, they also are married.
Yes.
You know, they are Christ-centered. They are in the same vein when it comes to Christian hip hop. You know, how important is that community for you, especially with these ladies in particular?
Yeah, I think so. One of the first women in CHH that I feel like took me under her wing and just like loved on me so much was TK Lee. Like, and we just, she was moving from Kansas to Atlanta, and we just like, we was doing a cypher, so we got asked to do a cypher on the Gospel Hip Hop Award show. This was, I don't remember what year. Yeah, I don't remember what year, but I think 2021. And so first of all, when they asked me to do, I'm like, y'all know me? First of all, I was like, because they only picked I think it was like 8 of us.
Yeah.
And so me and her part was like back to back or whatever. And so we had to get with each other, and, you know, we end up just like clicking so well to the point where like, oh, we sending voice memos every day. We talking all day. Like, I'm coming over now. I'm helping out. She doing the same for me. Like, it was just so crazy. And then after that, it turned into like Anike very heavy. Like, really? she I'm finna teach you how to record at home. You need to learn how to you need to record that. You don't know how to come to my house. I'm about to gave me a mic. Like, she just,
that is awesome.
She just started helping me so much. And then she was like, she started just inviting me to the studio. So like, even like the song that we just did, it was like an exclusive drop. The Jesus music with me, her, and Few. She said, I hear you on this beat, come to the studio right now. And I just and I was so glad I didn't have a job at the time. But I came to the studio right then and there. And she said, this is the part that I go right to it. Put my headphones in, came back in like 20 minutes. She said, you're done? I was like, yeah. She was like, let me hear it then. And so I was about to start, I was like, you want to hear or you want me to get on the mic? She was like, no, I know you know how to rap. Just go in the booth. And so went in there. She loved it. She don't have me change nothing.
Really?
Like, no, she don't say, you can say this like this or you can do this like, she like, bro, you can rap.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to do that with you. And so, yeah, those two women for sure, they were like two women that like definitely like took me under their wing and just was like, hey, I'm going to help you. I'm going to, you know, help you out with whatever. And so we made great music so far.
I love that. I love what you said earlier about with community, there needs to be relatability. Like, you know, you need to be able to relate to people. Shout out to TK, because I'm in her mentoring group, Ladies of Light, and I've just learned so much from her teaching, and one of the biggest thing I've learned from her is the fact that you just need people around you who know a little bit more than you.
Yeah.
You know, so you can go to this one friend when it comes to this, and this one friend when it comes to that, and the names you mentioned, Portia, Nike, TK, and I can even imagine even outside of music, but when it comes to even those names, when it comes to CHH, has from any of those relationships that you had or grown to have, what's been any of the biggest things that you've learned?
Yeah. So it would definitely be from TK, and it would be around the same thing like what you just said. Like, if you are the most spiritual, wisest counsel in your group, you need to change your group. Like, you have to have people that know just so much more than you. So it's been times where like I'm telling TK, like, I'm about to drop this right now. She's like, be patient. Okay, don't drop that right now. It's Christmas time. You're about to drop the summer songs. She's like, Aaliyah, you're about to drop a summer song at Christmas time.
At Christmas
She
time.
was like, no, people don't want to hear that. They want to hear fa la 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 la. I'm like, okay. So it's stuff that even her husband, it's stuff that both of them have just like, you know, came in just like, I'll do this like this, or I won't work with them right now. I'll do this. And so just like, I don't know. I don't want to call it mentorship because she don't little girl me. She don't make me feel like she teaching me. She just like, you my friend, and I'm telling you because I've been in your shoes. I did music 10 years longer than you. You know, this the game. This is what you need to do. So her for sure, and then Anike when it comes to just studio time, like she's just so giving.
She is.
She is.
She is such a
She
giving
is.
artist, and for her to be the one that's like, you know, necessarily paving the way for real. In my opinion, she really is.
She is, absolutely.
Like for her to be, and she like, I'm going to the Double Voice. I need you on stage. And
Come
I'm like,
on, that part.
me?
Yes.
Like, and so she in interviews like mentioning Queen Lee. I'm like, what is wrong with this girl? I am not. You know what I'm saying? Or at least I'm not thinking.
You're not thinking it.
But, but these two women definitely see something in me that I sometimes don't see in myself, along with my husband. It's just like, even when it Go Crazy dropping yesterday, I wasn't promoting like I should be. He like, wait, where's the rollout? Okay, you know what? Let me just sit. And so he would just make the video and just send it to me. All you have to do now is press post. If you don't do it, now it's really on you.
Yeah.
Because I made the video for you.
Yeah.
Just press post. You don't got to go on CapCut. You don't got to do nothing. Just press post.
Yeah. So talk to us about Go Crazy, because that's exactly what it's doing. It's going crazy. Like, just give us all that you want for us to have about knowing something about this project.
Yeah, so we Go Crazy. So first of all, I just wanted this year to be a year where I take music seriously. Y'all been on me for years. I've been the girl that's been having so much favor that I'm on these stages with 5 songs out. Next to people who got albums out. I'm being invited to these places with 5 songs released.
Right. Okay.
And so I just felt like this year it's just really time to change that. Like, I don't want people to have to listen to the same stuff over and over again with me, and just or just hear verses. Like I'm on somebody's feature.
Okay.
And so I said, this year, I'm going to drop a song every month for the whole year.
Oh, let's go.
And so, of course, I didn't get to do it January because we was moving. But February, we dropped Go Crazy. Next month, I'm dropping a new song. Everything is lined up until June right now. Like, I have a drop a month until then. And so, we Go Crazy. It's just like, I want to pop the year off, like, letting people know, like, no, this, like, I'm versatile. I can do this. I know y'all see me speaking all the time, but I am a rapper. This is what I love to do.
Yes.
And the song is basically just about going crazy with the call of God that's on your life.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I talked about. At the end it says, so if he call your name, you tell me what you finna do. And it's go crazy. So it's just like, go crazy with what God has given you. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do this year. So that's why dropping that first was so essential to me, because it's like, what I'm saying in this first song of the year, that's what I'm about to do.
Yeah. And way to pop out the box with such an upbeat, fun, loving, high energy song.
Yes.
That's all you.
All you.
That screams Queen Lee all day, every day. Now, just let us have a little bit of tidbit. What else can we expect from Queen Lee? I know you already mentioned that, you know, you already have your hands full. You got a wedding that you're planning. You got this book, this journal that you're pushing. You already have a song every single month. What else can we expect?
Expect a lot of great features. Expect a lot of great features. Also, this is for my single ladies. This year, the Lord has placed it on my heart to do like I don't know if it's gonna be like 1 or 2 days right now, but it's gonna be like a single women's conference.
Really?
Basically, yeah. So we're gonna do. I don't know where. I don't know all the details yet, but it's gonna happen this year for sure. And basically, it's gonna be an all super pink girly event.
Love that. Yes.
All single girls, and we're gonna discuss and tackle this these just conversations around singleness.
Yes.
And so it's going to be small groups. It's going to be women from every walk of life. So I'm going to have a woman that talk about, if you feel like you're that woman who God is like, okay, you're about to be married, you're about to meet your husband, teach you about, being a wife, teach you about what it means to be a daughter of God, because sometimes we don't accept that first, and we need to learn that before we get married. So that teach you about purity. So I have women lined up who I know are going to teach each of these segments. And so we're going to do that. We're going to worship, and then the Lord has prompted me to do a very special prize to every woman in there, and that's one of the things I'm most excited about. So single ladies, stay tuned for the As I Wait conference.
Love that.
Oh, that is so exciting.
It sounds so good.
Lee, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your heart, but then even also I really admire just your devotion just through the different seasons, the different roles that God's placed you through, and you just being just so dedicated, the definition of a daughter. I just truly admire that about you. Let everybody know how they can get the book, and then even also music, where everybody can follow you.
Yeah, so if you type in Queen Lee on anywhere, I'll still come up, but my actual at name is I am CEO Aaliyah, and Aaliyah is spelled AALIYAH. And then you can stream Queen Lee on every platform, any platform that you got, Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever, Apple Music. I'm on everything, so Queen Lee.
Yes. And then let everyone know about the book as well.
Oh, yes. So in my bio on Instagram, I have a link tree, and it's everything on there. So Ladies Lashes, that's on there, okay? My book, every platform for music, so you can just hit that, and my website.
When I tell you, I have been waiting for this interview for
It's been on the calendar, Meesa.
It's been on the calendar, but listen, we can officially check it because
absolutely,
this interview has been such a treat. It's been such a pleasure having you.
Long overdue.
Thank you so much for your vulnerability. Thank you for the laughs. It has been such an epic interview. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning into M&M Live Radio. We have so much more for you on our Patreon. So much things happening for you. But my name is Meesa.
And my name is Meah.
Also known as M&M, and you're listening to your number one source of inspiration for this generation. You already know it's M&M Live Radio. We'll talk to you soon.
You back.